It's a super dark, rainy day today, so I had to bring some supplemental lighting into my kitchen so that you can see what I'm doing. So I've had a lot of new subscribers lately, so I'm just gonna do a brief introduction. If you're new to my channel, my name is Cindy, obviously. I'm 40 years old, I have borderline personality disorder, and my life fell to shit. Everything went to shambles, and now I'm here just sharing my journey of healing and building a completely new life for myself. On my own, for the first time ever. I'm also on the carnivore diet, which has helped me to lose 100 pounds. I have insulin-resistant polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is a real bitch. But by eating a carnivore diet and keeping my carbs close to zero, I was able to lose weight and control my symptoms. I'm not saying it's a good diet for anyone else. I don't recommend it to anyone else, but it's just what works for me. So today we're gonna cook a yummy carnivore breakfast scramble. I'm gonna use some sausage, eggs, and cheese. And honestly, cooking is kind of a big deal for me because over the past couple months, I was in a really dark place and I wasn't cooking much for myself. I was just living on basically fast food burger patties. But over the past couple weeks, I've started to become more motivated to care for myself because I actually do care about myself now. So I'm trying to cook more at home and eat something a little bit healthier than fast food burger patties. So I went down to my local grocery store the other day and they have like a really good meat selection. And one of the things that I like to buy there is this sausage that they make in-house. And the ingredients are really good. It's only pork, salt, red pepper, sage, sugar, and black pepper. Now it does have some sugar in it and I try to avoid sugar at all costs, but the amount is so minuscule, it doesn't really hurt anything. I'll eat sausage and bacon with that's been cured with sugar or has a little bit of sugar in it. Never seems to bother me. So I'm gonna fry up the sausage and then we're gonna add some eggs. My favorite eggs, if I can't get farm fresh eggs, which I haven't been to the farmer's market in a while, I probably need to go. But I just get these from the grocery store, these pasture-raised Vital Farms organic eggs. They're really good. And then I bought this cheese. This is by Cabot Creamery. It's habanero cheddar cheese. And let me tell you, oh my God, this stuff burns my mouth off. I sliced some up and ate it last night with my dinner and I thought I was gonna die. So I'm gonna shred some up today and put it in my breakfast and burn my mouth off again because for some reason I find that enjoyable. And another update, I have not had a Coke Zero for 4 days and I used to be a Coke Zero addict, so I'm pretty proud of myself. I've just been drinking spring water only and I think I'm just not gonna buy any more Coke Zeros. Well, at least that's how I feel right now. I don't know, I might have a breakdown in the future, but right now it's spring water for me. So today we are pulling out the big boy skillet. I only have 2 skillets, one's extra large and one's small. So we're using this one for the sausage today. So I'm just gonna cook this over medium heat until it's all nice and browned. It smells so good. This is my favorite sausage ever. And it's just so fresh because they just mix it right there in the store. I like to use a rice paddle to cook any kind of ground meat because it just breaks it up so nicely. I have been thinking about getting one of those, I don't know what they're called, but there's this tool that you can use specifically for breaking up ground meats. I have been thinking about getting one of those, but I don't know. My trusty rice paddle works pretty well. Okay, I got the sausage frying here. It's pretty much broken up, and now I'm gonna prepare my eggs and cheese. So I'm gonna start with my eggs, and I like to use a measuring cup because it has a little spout on it, so it makes it easier to pour the eggs out. And I think I'm gonna do, geez, I don't know, should I do 6 eggs? This is gonna make a shitload of food. I'll have lots of leftovers. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do 6 eggs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and last one, number 6. I think this is gonna feed me breakfast for 3 or 4 days, for sure. One thing about living alone is I usually do make larger portions and just eat it over a couple days. Most recipes that you find, I don't really follow recipes anymore, but most recipes that you find are for at least 4 to 6 servings. But I don't mind eating leftovers at all. So I'm just gonna whisk these up. I'm not gonna add anything to them because the sausage and cheese has plenty of salt and spice in it. I'm gonna set that aside. All right, and now I'm gonna shred up some of this habanero cheddar. I'm being very brave today. This stuff is spicy, but it's really good. I love pepper jack cheese. It's probably one of my favorite cheeses, but this is extreme pepper jack. So I don't know, I'm just gonna shred up. I'm just gonna shred until I feel like it's enough for me. I don't want to go overboard with it. These big ass chunks of peppers falling out of it. I'll do a little bit more. Now another thing that you could do with this is like make little muffin cups. Put the sausage and cheese and egg into little muffin cups and bake it. That's another thing. I usually don't do that though. I prefer to scramble, but that's an option. All right, there's my cheese. So let's go check on the sausage. Sausage isn't quite done, but once it's completely browned, I'm actually gonna drain it because that is a lot of fat coming out of it. And I don't really want that all up in my scramble, so we're gonna drain it. Some people, I think they prefer to have the extra fat because when you're on the carnivore diet, you really do need to eat a fatty diet, but I think there's gonna be plenty of fat in this without all this extra loose juice, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna use a colander to drain this, and I know you're not supposed to drain meat into the sink drain, but guess what? I'm doing it anyway. It's not that much, it'll be fine. I'll run some hot water down there if it makes you feel better. And now I'm gonna add the sausage back into the pan, and then I'm just gonna pour the eggs in right on top and scramble those into the sausage. This is an outrageous amount of food to cook for one person. I do realize that. But it's like I can't buy sausage a quarter pound at a time. You know, they only sell it in 1 pound packages, so screw it. I'll just make a huge batch and eat on it for a couple days. So once the eggs are all scrambled, then we'll add in the cheese. It smells so good. I'm starving. I was up early this morning, super early this morning, even for me, and I have been so productive today. I woke up this morning, I did all my morning routine, my morning meditations and visualizations and affirmations, all the Asians, and I walked my dogs, I cleaned my apartment, I did laundry, I edited almost all of a vlog that's gonna go out today, I worked on a blog post, I took a shower, like I was killing it today. Okay, I think that's pretty good for the eggs, so I'm gonna add in the cheese now. This cheese, seriously, it's like it came out of Satan's asshole. It is so spicy hot. So I didn't add as much cheese as I normally would to a scramble this size just because of the spice. So I'm just gonna melt that cheese in there and we're good to go, y'all. Breakfast is served for a week. Okay, it's ready and I'm gonna try it. It looks delicious and it's super simple. When you're on the carnivore diet, everything is so easy because it's just meat, eggs, and cheese basically is all I eat. That's really good. And after like 10 seconds, the spice hits you. Woo! Oh my God, need more water. It's not as bad as eating the cheese by itself though. That was way worse. I think I'll just use it to like put in dishes and not eat it by itself anymore. So I decided to add some sour cream to this because I think it would be the perfect complement. And I love sour cream. If I don't have sour cream, I'll just use like a plain yogurt if I have some, but I got this big ass thing of sour cream, so I'm gonna put a dollop on there. All right, there's my completed dish, y'all. I'm gonna eat breakfast and I'll see you back here in a little bit. Hey guys, it is now Sunday, about noon, and the last time I filmed was Friday. So last night I had an experience and it was not good. And it kind of took the wind out of my sails there. For the past couple weeks, I've been feeling so much better. I've been doing so much better, and I still am. But I had to face something last night that was very difficult. So I ran into my ex-boyfriend last night, and he actually approached me, and we had some small talk, and then he decided to tell me again how he was not interested in ever contacting me or seeing me again. I kind of really let this shake me up. I really let it hurt me. And I really let myself kind of slip back into old Cindy for a moment. At first I was disappointed in myself, but now I kind of see it as sort of a blessing that I was able to understand something new about myself. Anytime that I can use an experience to gain a greater insight into myself, my emotions, my behavior, I consider that a good thing. Even if the experience that caused it really sucked, and it did. So I almost feel like this was a test of the universe because the way that we encountered each other was so bizarre. And I can't really say the specifics because I don't want to put somebody else's business out there, but things just aligned for us to run into each other at a place that we normally wouldn't, a place and time that we normally would not. I was kind of shocked by it, and I didn't really have a chance to kind of get myself together. I came home and I cried all night, and I'm still hurt right now from it. And last night I was kind of going back to that desperate place that I used to be in, that desperate dark place where I was thinking, I was having all these doubts about myself. You know, I'm not good enough. I've been rejected. Nobody will love me, and the person I love does not want me, and that sucks. I just kind of let myself slip back into that for a couple hours, and it didn't feel good. It wasn't a good place to be. So after I cried myself to sleep, I woke up super early this morning, and I decided that I had to do something about this. I couldn't just allow myself to go back to old Cindy. Like, that's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. Even though I had a little, I don't even want to call it a setback. I don't even want to call it a failure. It was a lapse. But I feel like it was necessary for me to learn this lesson. So this morning I sat with myself, I sat with these emotions, I let myself feel all the emotions that I needed to feel, and I really thought about them. I'm trying to be much more objective with my emotions, right? I'm trying to feel them, identify them, understand where they're coming from, and what parts of myself I still need to work on. So I did that, and then I started to remind myself of who I am. I started to tell myself, Cindy, you are fine. You are whole and complete on your own, and you don't have to give any meaning to this experience that says anything bad about you. So we are the creators of meaning in our own lives, and this is something that I've been talking about in therapy a lot lately, is I am the only one who can assign meaning to the things that happen to me, the things I encounter, my experiences in the world. And for a brief moment, I allowed this experience to shake up my identity. And it was really eye-opening for me because I thought I had it all together. And you know what? I still think I do. I think these are just situations that you're gonna come across in your life, and you have to learn how to navigate them in a healthy way, which I also feel like I'm doing now. Before, I would have let this completely crush me. And you know, it does hurt. I'm not gonna say it doesn't hurt and I'm all completely fine and healed and stuff, because that's not true. But I'm not letting it divert me from the path that I'm on. I'm gonna deal with this experience, I'm gonna deal with these feelings. And what it showed me is that I still, I thought I was completely detached from that relationship, but when I saw him, just all those emotions came back to me, and I realized that I still have an attachment to this person. I still have pain around this situation, and hurt and stuff. And even though I'm starting to get over it, this just kind of ripped open the wound again, so that sucks. But it also showed me that I still need to work on my attachment. So this is one of the things that I'm gonna be focusing on going forward, is my attachment to that situation in particular, and to any future situations, because one thing I'm not going to do is to go out and try to replace that attachment with a new one, because that's usually what I do. Usually I would be like, I can't, I feel so empty without some kind of unhealthy attachment to another person where they can fulfill me and give me what I need from the outside. That was the old me. The new me is aware of this dynamic within myself, and I am going to heal it and fix it before I ever get involved with another person. And that is huge for me. If you have BPD and you tend to go from relationship to relationship for the same reasons, you will understand how huge that is. Because I am trying to face all of my issues head on. And sometimes when you're least expecting it, the universe just says, you know what? It's time for you to face this, bitch. Face up to it. Be honest with yourself. Get your shit together. And you have no choice but to face it. I mean, you do have choice, actually. You don't have to face it. And many times in the past, I didn't. But I'm where I am in my journey right now, I am just trying to face everything that I possibly can. And any kind of insight I can get into myself, any kind of way that I can see the things I need to work on, I feel like it's a blessing to me. So I'm trying to look at this in a positive light, even though it hurts, even though it sucks. So after I got myself realigned, came back into myself, realized that I didn't have to let this situation derail me or define me or say anything bad about me as a person. It was just a relationship that didn't work, and that sucks. But it doesn't mean that I'm still not a whole, complete person. It doesn't mean that I need anyone else, and I still feel stable in my new identity. Even though for a brief time, I sort of slipped back into those old feelings that I know are not true, those old limiting beliefs, just for a minute, just for a moment, just for a few hours. But it felt really bad there, and I didn't like it there, and I'm not going back there. And even if from time to time I doubt myself, and I still have fears, and I still have pain, and I still have a lot of shit I have to work through, but I'm never going to let that shake my self-concept that I'm working so hard to develop, and my new identity, my new reality. All of that stuff from the past, that's in the old reality. That's in the old story, and I'm not going to interact with it there anymore, right? I'm going to interact with it here. If I need to interact with it, I'm going to interact with it here in my new place, from a place of healing and understanding and self-compassion and growth. Not a place of desperation and darkness and pain and all that shit that was back there. I could have chosen not to share this, but I really, my whole aim with this channel is to show you the true ups and downs of what it's like to go down this path of really trying to heal yourself and understand yourself. And especially when you're doing it when you also have borderline personality disorder, which adds like a whole new layer of bullshit onto the normal just trying to heal yourself and be stable in your identity. Then you have all the BPD shit on top of it. So it's, you know, like I said before, it's rocky terrain. And this situation that happened was one huge ass boulder that I encountered. And I had to struggle with it. I really had to struggle with it to get it out of my way. But I'm continuing to move forward, and you can too. If you struggle, if you're struggling with something like this, don't let it push you back into that old place. Once you've written a new story for yourself, stay there. But it's okay if you lapse back, if you have those old doubts and fears come back, just deal with them, get them out of you, process them, be objective about your emotions and thoughts. Try not to attach too much meaning to them. Just feel them for what they are, understand where they're coming from, and process them the best you can and keep moving forward. And some things are going to take a long time to heal and process, like my attachment issues and my specific attachment to this specific person as well is not healed. Like, I thought that I was completely detached, but last night showed me, oh, how wrong I was. And sometimes when you're not really being honest with yourself about something like that, the universe will slap you in the face with it. And until you learn it, until you learn the lesson, like, you're just going to keep getting hit with the same thing over and over and over and over again. So that's what I've come to learn and realize. But it's been interesting, and it's been eye-opening, and it's been humbling as well. I will never ever claim that I'm perfect or that I'm perfectly healed or anything like that, but I will claim that I will never ever go back to the way I used to be. I will always keep moving forward, even if I have a setback, even if I fuck up, which I'm just, you know, I'm human, I'm gonna fuck up, everybody is. That's okay. The trick is to just have compassion for yourself, forgive yourself, understand why you fucked up, how you fucked up, what caused it, and learn from that. Be open to all the lessons of every experience that happens to you. That's what I'm trying to do. Whatever happens to me, right now I'm in a state where I'm just going with the flow. Just whatever experiences I have, whatever happens to me, I'm trying to take them in stride, learn from them, and not let them shake me to my core like I once would have. Not let them define me. To not let what could be perceived as a negative experience make me feel like I am less than. Make me feel like I am, because I know and believe in my heart and soul that I am worthy, I am lovable, I am valuable, I am an amazing, beautiful human being, and I don't need external validation. But for one moment, when I was in the presence of this person, I just couldn't keep myself in the new reality when I was near them. It was very strange. I'm working through that, and so that's one of the things that I'm going to be really working on in therapy going forward. And I have my therapy tomorrow, so I'm thinking I'm going to ask my therapist if we can do some EMDR on some more recent things where the pain is more acute for me right now. I have all my life to work through the childhood shit, which is what we've been working on. But like, I really want to work on some of the more recent events that have happened that are still causing me distress. I will fix this and I will get through it. Like, I am fixing it and I am getting through it. I'm not going to say I will, I'm going to say I am doing. And you can too. Anything that happens to you, you get to decide how much meaning it has, what meaning it has. what effect it has on you. Like, I am the only one who is and can be responsible for my own fulfillment and wholeness. And so that's what I'm focusing on, regardless of what the world throws in my way, regardless of how many boulders in my path. Just gonna handle it as it comes. Just gonna go with the flow, handle it as it comes, keep going forward as new Cindy and my new story, my new reality. It's okay if you fuck up, you know? I used to feel like I had to be so perfect. I had to just have a perfect glow up where I could never make any mistakes. And I used to care so much about people judging me for that. Like, if I share a failure, then people are gonna judge me and say I'm not good enough. But I don't feel like that anymore, because we're all human and we all have, I don't even wanna call this a failure. We all have these experiences that maybe are not as ideal as we would have liked them, but we can still grow from those and we can still get something out of them. Now I am feeling a lot better about it. And I feel like if that ever happens again, which I hope and pray it does not, and I'm gonna actively try to avoid ever running into him again, but we do live in a small town, so if that ever does happen again, I feel like I'm gonna be able to handle myself much better, and I don't think it's going to impact me as much. You know, I'm just not in a place where that's really good for me right now, and I can recognize that, which is also huge for me, because normally I would just be so desperate and do anything just for a scrap of attention from this person. Not anymore. Not anymore. I mean, I'm just walking away from this, and I don't want it anymore, man. I just want to heal. I just want to be better for myself, be whole and fulfilled in myself. And I know that I am, and I know that I will be okay. I'm moving forward, y'all. I'm growing every day, and it's awesome. And I feel just like excited to see how far I'm actually going to go. And I hope I can inspire you too, that even if you're going through a really hard time, you can choose, you can make the choice to step out of it and get better and heal. And sometimes things are going to come up. Sometimes these things are going to be thrown at you, and it sucks. But the key, I think, is learning how to navigate that from a place of true self-love, self-compassion, self-respect, just knowing that you can be whole in yourself, which is not easy, I think, for most people, but especially if you have BPD and your whole life you've been dependent on outside sources to make you feel fulfilled. This is a huge shift in identity for me, and it's hard. Like, I'm gonna stumble sometimes, I'm gonna trip on a rock, but that's okay too, because it's all a process of learning. Everything that happens to me helps me grow. And that's the way I choose to look at it, and that's the meaning I choose to give it. So I hope that can be inspiring to you if you're going, you know, through something similar, man, because you are valuable, you are lovable, you are worthy, and you don't need anybody else's approval or validation to prove that to yourself. You're the only one who can prove it to yourself. So I learned a very valuable lesson about that last night. And also saw some areas that I need to make improvements in. So that's always a good thing. Okay, so I feel like I've ranted about this long enough, but I just kind of wanted to share what I was going through, how I was dealing with this, how you can have a healthier mindset. Everything doesn't have to be a catastrophe. Even if it's hurtful, even if it's painful, even if you have fears and doubts, that's normal, that's okay. But you don't have to let it just completely destroy who you are and obliterate who you are and make you go back to those old limiting beliefs. Like, you don't have to do that. Upward and onward, y'all. Oh, and by the way, before I go, plant update. My plants are thriving after I transplanted them. And look at my Christmas cactus, y'all. I've got beautiful blooms and more coming. And Janet Craig is loving her new home over here by the window. And this little guy, my little dark mystery Palea, I have moved over here on the coffee table so it can get the indirect light from the window, and it is thriving. I just have to make sure and mist it because it likes high humidity. But yep, my plants are doing great. I'm really happy. And pretty soon I'm going to be visiting a local nursery so I can find some more healthy houseplants to bring home. So we'll do another plant vlog soon. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you. I want to say thank you to my members as well who joined me for my members only live streams. We're going to be having some deep philosophical conversations in my members only live streams. So if you'd like to join me for that, make sure to click the button down below to become a member. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And I guess that's it, y'all. I will see you with a new video very soon. I think the next vlog I'm gonna make is gonna be about my new spiritual morning routine. So keep an eye out for that. All right, I love you guys. Thanks to everybody who watches my vlogs. I will see you with a new one very soon. Bye.